Hey guys, so I've seen so many different stories of what happened from so many different people, and a lot of the stories, the things aren't true, and that's not really anyone's fault because it's like it's like the game where you hear a word and then you have to tell another person and then tell another person, and by the time it gets to the last person, the story's completely, or the word's completely different. And I know everybody means well and they're taking up for me, and I'm so grateful, but I just felt like I needed to share what happened because I'm not a monster and I did not neglect my baby. So I'm sorry I get really emotional, but I'm going to try to explain as much as possible. Okay, so on our front door and our back door, we have a chain lock at the top of the door. Put it in, you slide it, and it locks. I check that lock all the time. It's routine to check that lock because we got that lock because Preston is a wild man and Preston's gonna do what Preston wants to do, and we knew that he needed it for safety. So Justin normally leaves around 5 a.m. in the morning. I was up at 5 a.m. feeding Stefan, my 4-month-old, like every morning. So Justin normally leaves at that time for work, and he kisses me, and he even says, "Hey babe, don't forget to lock the lock." Well, he didn't have a long job to do. He had to go deliver some tools and go to Bentop Hospital and patch a little patch, and he would be back. So we got to sleep in. He didn't have to leave until 7. So I fed the baby at 5, checked the lock, went back to bed, and Preston came and climbed in bed with us and fell asleep between us. At 7 o'clock, Justin jumped up, got dressed, and left for the day. He didn't remind me to lock the lock. That's not his fault. It's nobody's fault. So I got up at 8 because Stefan eats at 8. He eats every 3 hours. I got up at 8. I made the bottle. I went and fed him. The lock didn't even cross my mind because that's not my normal schedule. Because I was supposed to lock the lock back at 5, and when I checked the lock at 5, it was locked. So I fed him at 8. At 8:30, Preston was sleeping across the bed because you know how kids sleep, they sleep diagonal. So I turned him and I scooted him over and I laid down next to him and I covered him up and I laid my arm across him and I felt like he was safe and we were gonna sleep until he woke up. 30 minutes later, I jump up and my baby wasn't under my arm. The house was quiet. So I jump up out of the bed and I run, and the front door is open. And I run outside and I'm screaming for it. I'm like, "Preston, get back in here right now. Where are you?" And I run and I grab a blanket because I wasn't decent. And I grab the baby. And we have a neighbor, Miss Donna, right next to us. And she has lawnmowers and different things in her yard, and Preston loves motorcycles, and so when he sees a lawnmower, he's always like, motorcycle. So I'm like, oh, I just know he's over there. He's got to be over there. So I run to her yard, and I'm running through her yard, and I'm looking and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. And then I called Justin, and I'm like, I can't find Preston. The front door was open. It was open. And he says, "Call 911 now." And I was like, "Oh, ma'am, I'm going to call him." And so I get off the phone with him. And I'm on 911 with the dispatcher. And she's calming me down. She's asking me questions and asking what he looks like and everything. And I'm holding Stefan. And she says, "Is there a body of water near you?" And I said, "No, there's no water." And our neighbor who was helping look, because the neighbors had heard me screaming, they came up and they were helping me look for him. And one of them had said, "The only body of water is a pond, but it's not anywhere near here. It's in a pasture. You have to really know where it is to get to." So I told the dispatcher, I said, "I was told there was a pond. And the pond is somewhere, I don't even know. It's in a pasture. We've never been. We don't go anywhere outside of our yard unless we walk to the mailbox and come right back." And she said, "Walk down to the mailbox and see if he's there." And I said, "Ma'am, there's neighbors everywhere searching for him. There's cars driving around. I live at a dead end. If he's at that mailbox, they would know. I would already have him back." And she said, "Just walk down to the mailbox." I don't want to say it's about 60 yards. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Just thinking of a football field. So I start walking down there, and I have Stefan still in my arms, and I'm screaming and calling his name, and I get halfway there, and we have neighbors that just moved in, and they've been using the pool, and they filled the pool up, and the ladder was still in the pool, and I just knew my baby was in that pool. So I screamed, and I just ran across the yard. And I laid Stefan on the ground because I could see my baby. And I jumped in, and I grabbed him, I picked him up. I asked a man for help to get him from me, and he said he didn't know CPR. But I lowered my baby on the ground so I could get out of the pool, and I jumped out of the pool, and I started CPR on him, and I asked the man if he would at least come and pick up Stefan from the ground, who was crying because he didn't understand what was going on. And I did everything that I was trained to do. The CPR for Preston. I've been screaming and crying and begging God, and this neighbor, his name was Steve, and he came over, and he continued the CPR, because I was like, it's not working, and he continued it, and finally the cops came, the ambulance showed up, and they pulled me away, and they worked on him, and they got a pulse back in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And that's what happened. It was 30 minutes of me closing my eyes with my baby in my arms, and I thought he was safe. I didn't think that anything bad would happen, that we would just get up and I would make him the pancakes that I told him the night before that he was gonna get, and we would watch Blippi. And I beat myself up for it, because why didn't I just think about the lock I do any other time? And why didn't he wake me up like he always does? Because he wakes the entire house up. When he's awake, the whole house has to be awake. And I know I'm not a perfect parent, but I do not neglect my kids. My kids are bathed, they're fed, they're spoiled, they get everything they need. They get all the attention they need. If they want to dance, we dance. If we want to paint, we paint. If they want to color, we color. My eyes are always on them. I always know where they're at. If we're outside, they come first. I know exactly where they're running around the yard. They know the rules. I watch my kids. I'm not a monster. never forgive myself. But I truly believe that God's gonna bless us with Preston. He's gonna heal him. Then he's gonna go right back to us. I'm sorry. So that's what happened.